Okay, here we go. Project 4, the Montage project. This is the first one that I pulled up. It says lifting others. Let's see. Oh, we rise by lifting others. Robert Ingersoll. Okay, so first thing I do here is make sure that we read the first words first. So for some reason I wanted to read lifting others first. Um, the principle of proximity says that things that are close to each other have a relationship with each other, and things that are far apart from each other don't have a relationship with each other. By putting space in between these words and phrases, we disassociate them. So just bringing them together will help. Also, I like that you've got some contrast here, but make it more contrast. Uh, and then in the dark areas, the text is hard to read. So you need some more light area if you're going to use dark text, or you might consider using light text because you've got some areas that are darker, or you could darken the areas. I really like your imagery here. It doesn't feel contrived. I like that there's lots of white space in it. You need a stronger alignment, and right now it's kind of a creative alignment, but everything, this, and this, they're all floating. There's some kind of connection here, maybe. But anyway, bring those together. Consider stacking. Consider bringing your text here so it has more space, and then right aligning it to your imagery. Okay, life. Nice big contrast here. It does make me think that this is the magazine. So I'm not positive where your montage is coming in. Montage means that there's a gradual blending, and maybe it's the sky with this word. I'm not sure. I kind of like that though. I like that it's different than the other projects. Okay, let me read this. To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other, and to feel. That is the purpose of life. Okay. A lot of text. It's a cool quote. This part confused me just a little bit. To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls. I wonder about your line breaks. To see the world, and then break here. So that things isn't by itself. Maybe if things dangerous to come to was on its own line. Anyway, think about the line breaks here. I like this strong connection between all the text, but it's not connected to anything. Could it be connected to the mountain? Or could you write a line so that it's connected to this man? There's just a few things to think about. You probably have enough contrast with this big word and then these words. Because you have so many things that are bold here, it's harder to understand the contrast. Keep it simple. Fewer differences maybe. So maybe just leave this text all the same. And then you need a period right there, and to feel, period. That is the purpose of life. Yeah, great. So this is a cool image. There's there's a montage in the back. All this capital letters up here is hard to read. Our brain reads words by their shapes, and when you make everything capital, they all have a rectangular shape, and there's no ups and downs. So you might consider not doing all caps on everything. Also, the quotation marks here are throwing this strong alignment off. So you get something kind of like that instead of a straight line. Hang the quotation marks off the edge, or you might as well leave the quotation marks off because we don't know who said this anyway. Throw your heart over the bar and the rest of your body will follow. Yeah, that's cool. This silhouetted image has some white pixelation coming after it. Not sure what you'd do with that. If you can get rid of that, that would be great, especially if you could do it without too much difficulty. You might try a blending mode on these layers. Try multiply, and that should get rid of the white for you. Watch your white space. You've got just a little bit over here, a little bit over there, and then this text is trapped up here in this box. If there's a different way you could do that, you might consider that. It'd be nice if the sky just kind of blended up into just a solid color or something. This is a really cool image. I like this strong, well, it's actually not a strong alignment. I like that this is kind of aligned over here. I would strengthen that and make it straighter alignment. I bet this font won't let you just right align. You'll have to do it by hand. Although I always say, why align to the edge? Because that's saying that this edge is united, or this edge is united with this quote. Instead, why not align to the image? I like that she's kind of in a rule of thirds place. Maybe she could come over to the left even more, and that would free up some space for you. I don't like that William Shakespeare's stuck over here in the corner. I would bring him into alignment wherever you end up aligning your text. And this font is a little tricky to read. You might consider a different font. It's cool, but just make sure that it's very easy to read. And then watch these spaces. Like, this is a pretty nice space in between those words, but then you get down here and that space feels unusually large, and that, and so then it creates, it unrelates these words. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Cool quote. The text is great up here for readability and gets harder as it gets down into this dark area. This big double line box is just trapping, and it's calling it undue attention to itself because it has a weight that's similar to this text. So I would either thin those lines out or just get rid of them. The image is nice in the back. The typography, it's got a nice strong alignment on the left. Really like that. I wonder about some contrast in the quote, like the word create or future or something. Consider that. You might even look at other fonts. This isn't a bad font, and I like that it's sans serif, but look at some other sans and see what you have. This is a fairly medium weight, bold sans, and so everything's bold. When everything's bold, nothing is bold. Nothing stands out. I'd rather love one than click through thousands. Recovery starts here. Porn addiction recovery services. All right, this is a hard message to make inspirational because it's such a serious message, and in some ways discouraging message, especially see the imagery around the edges. This is a bright spot definitely, and there's nice contrast between the image in the middle and the other stuff. But the fonts that you're using and the dark imagery out here, and even the message itself, make this hard for us to feel uplifted and inspired. Also, don't center align your text. Okay, these two lines down here are center aligned. This is creatively aligned, kind of in a stair step. It's so much easier, I promise, if you just try a left or a right alignment. You've got at least 3 strong places in this strong image here that you could align to. The edge of this person, or the center of this person, or maybe even this edge of this person. So I would definitely do that, a strong right or left alignment. I'd reconsider your font. This is a scary kind of a font. At least that's the first impression that I get. And everything's capitals. Same thing down here, all caps, which is harder to read and takes up more space. And then be sure that your text is readable. Some of this text is harder in certain areas. Really like how clear and simple this message is. This text feels too close to the top. These 2 lines should be closer together so they feel more united. And there's a nice strong alignment here, kind of with this tree. Maybe you could take this off of the edge of that tree a little bit, although that does provide a nice contrast there for that letter. And you've created some fairly good contrast here with your or your inner glow, I think is what you did. Yeah, nice, simple, clean, clear. Great. This text is a little crowded on the edge, and also it's stuck in the corner, and this is stuck in the corner, and then the space between destroys the relationship. So keeping an eye is one thing, and then single to the glory of God is another. And I think you really want to unite those, so they've got to be closer. And then God is big here, or God is contrasted, and I is contrasted. I wonder if you need both of those. I wonder if you could have more contrast. Think really carefully about if you only had one word that you could emphasize, what word would it be? Is this a message about the I? Then make it more contrastive. I wonder if it's a message about single, or the I single, maybe that phrase. But anyway, just think through that. And then consider this typeface. It doesn't do much for your message. I'm not sure why, but I think it could be stronger and with more contrast. And some alignment too. So you've got this place here, okay? That would be a great place for alignment. Because this isn't really aligned to anything. Maybe it's aligned to the edge there, but it doesn't connect there. So think about aligning in a strong place in the image. For example, this part of the pupil right there in the center where the temple is might be a nice place for an alignment. Okay, there is a lot going on in this image. All these football players up here, and then all this action down here. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3 games going on. And then this text that it's readable if I pay attention, but back up from this text and notice how it's hard to read the light text over the light areas. Wherever it crosses over into a light area, it's trickier. I notice that it's all aligned to the left, so that's a nice strong line, but it's not aligned to anything in the image. And there's not much white space really. There's a little here maybe. What does it say? Give them nothing, take from them everything. Everything's bold, so nothing is standing out. Give me some more contrast, give me some more white space. Align the text to something. Okay, so this message seems like it has 2 parts. The Book of Mormon, receiving a new truth, and is adding a new sense. So this division and these ellipses this division really separate what's happening here. Is this the St. Louis Arch? That's what it looks like to me. It's kind of a cool picture, but I'm not sure how it fits in. And I'm not sure if we're trying to give the Book of Mormon to Spider-Man. I don't really understand what's happening here. Adding a new sense. Maybe it's because I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. I'm just a little confused. And I'd like your message to be more unified instead of to be like divided and unclear. Make sure that you're clearly communicating and uplifting your audience. Because I am God's child, He shows me the way to my dreams. Now that's a cool message. I like that you've right aligned your text here to bring it into this image. This is a little tricky. The contrast here could be enhanced. So everything's bold. That means nothing's bold. Give me a word or phrase that you want to stand out. Uh, your photo has some little remnants in it. Also, and I'm not sure if anybody else sees this, but it looks like maybe he's hitting this little kid with his club, or I'm sure that's not what's happening really. I can tell that you're probably talking about um, this is this golfer when he was younger. Um, but anyway, just something to think about. Uh, there's some fairly good white space here, and except there's a little tangent there with his head. Give him some more space. And then I'm not sure what else. Something about this image. I don't know how you make it work. Um, I think it's just because this image is a little older and maybe a little more pixelated that there's probably not much you can do about that. So really focus on the typography and how you can add some contrast. Maybe give it some more space. Maybe space would help if we extended this green up higher. All right, so I think the montage is coming in here with the blend between this image and this image. I'm not exactly sure the importance of this image, but that's okay. I don't know if we need the NBA logo down here. If we have to have it, I guess that's fine. This text gets trapped in between his shoulder and the corner, and I'd like to see more space around it and some contrast in it. Michael Jordan is important, but he's not as important as this quote. This is what will inspire us. This is secondary, so make a contrast here and make a contrast in the text itself. Is there a word or a phrase here that you could bring out? Like this. This has a word that really is standing out. Okay, like that a lot. I know that the messages rise up. I sure wonder about making this text white or light instead of black. Just try that and see what you get. If you don't like it, that's fine. It is hard to read some of this text, especially in dark areas like there and in here a little bit. But changing the size of this text could fix that so that it all comes over into the sky. Nice strong imagery. A nice strong alignment. Give this text a little space. And some good proximity, so relationship. Keep playing with the font choices. I think they're good, but this is all bold and this is all bold. So just keep playing with that. Also where you have descenders, like this, the bottom of this P and the bottom of this P, where they get close to the other lines, it becomes a little bit tense, I guess. Some tangents are created, so watch those carefully. If you made this all caps, that would help. You don't want the whole thing to be in all caps, but that would prevent there being any descenders. All gave some and some gave all. Yeah, cool, powerful message. I like the strong alignment here. I think I might align it to a different place, but I like that these 4 lines of text are aligned to each other. I'd like the contrast to be more in this text. There's a little bit of size difference in the word some and the word all. But if you're going to contrast, really contrast. Also, I don't know if you need the eagle and the funeral and the soldier and this gold texture. That's a lot going on. Could we get away with 2 out of those 4 things? And then free up some white space for the text. lots going on here. So it looks like a quote, and then this space dissociates that. So bring those together. So we've got this quote and where it comes from, and the sporey, and the temple, and this down here. I'd say pick out of 1, 2, 3, 4 things, pick 2 or 3 of those things. Okay, I guess you need to have text and 2 images. So let's not do both of these blocks of text. Pick one of those 2. And then give me some contrast within the text. You've got a nice strong alignment here. I think that's a great place for alignment. And then, but this is connected to nothing. And then you definitely need contrast between this and that, and contrast within this. This image of the temple is pretty dark, especially when you put it with the sporey building. So you might look at that. I like that it's a different angle. I like this bright light coming from behind it. It seems to speak to this idea of awaking and no longer drooping, and really like that. And I like the white space that's available up here for your text. All right, so first thing I notice is the space between these 2 lines of text. There's no relationship between them because of that. You don't have a montage, you have a collage. So there's no smooth blending of pixels. Instead, you've cut some things out and put them together. Sometimes you have to let go to see what happens. So the relationship between the plant and letting go is not clear. Here I see this person letting go and seeing what happens. I don't understand what this is doing. It's something that's growing and new, and doesn't seem to be letting go. There is some potential here, so seeing what happens, that kind of makes sense. But think of this and make sure that it's clear to your audience what you're trying to communicate with every part. So it doesn't have gestalt right now. Everything's not working together. There's a little bit of contrast between this text, but they also have some things in common, and because of that they conflict. So if you're going to contrast, really contrast. Find fonts that are very different from each other and give me some so they aren't the same size or same weight. Okay, this text is hard to read. It's too dark down in this area. There's a tangent up here on Moroni. He's too close to the top. Same thing there on her hand, and same thing here on this S. These clouds are a little pixelated. Boy, I feel like I'm being so negative. I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be negative. I love the idea of this image because it does communicate setting your sights high. So I wonder about aligning the text here. Also, you've got contrast on the S and the S and the H, as if the S and the S and the H are significant in and of themselves. I wonder about contrasting a whole word instead of just a single letter, and definitely want to make this text readable. Maybe aligning it here on the left. And I wonder if you need this person. Could you get away with no person over there? Or if you do have a person, could it be smaller? Could the person be looking up? Anyway, think about that and how everything works together again for that gestalt. And that's it.